Good day everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you how I cleared stage 12 of the trial of the Esotericists and how big one particular healer came into play to clear this faction. So this is the composition that I decided to bring into this battle. Of course, I'm going to get my healers here in Esren and Elowen. I will tell you ahead of time, I tried to do this without Elowen, primarily because I know that she is a very difficult legendary to obtain. So I tried to focus more on Esren for this example. Bringing in Laurel, Kameth. We all know Kameth is an excellent damage dealer. That's what I'm bringing him for. Essentially is going to slow things down for me, and Laurel is going to give us the boost in damage that we're going to need, plus a little bit of regeneration. We have Raiden. He's also, I'm going to use him primarily for damage to help me control some of the minions on the bottom side of the map. Junkar, we all know. Ardeth, the tank for this faction. Yes, we're going to use him. And we got Nabras and then Selkas, and Selkas is the only one that's going to be 50, and I'll show you that at the end when I'm showing you the builds that I used for this particular run. Okay, so here we are right at the start of the run. So kind of give you an idea of what the thought process is going to be. I'm going to impede this minions soldier's path with Ardeth. And he's going to be the one that's going to hold things up for us on this side. I'm going to bring in Esren. Esren is going to be the healer of choice for this particular battle. And there's also another... there's a reason that I wanted to focus him for this instead of Elowen. Now, if you have Elowen and you can use her, use her. I just wanted to give you an example here without Elowen because she is one of the most difficult legendaries to get in the game. Alright, so I'm going to put Raiden right in the tile there to induce the lightning. He uses the ultimate. So this was a very slow battle, particularly because these are not big damage dealers that we're bringing in. It's essentially to hold things up for us. Now, what you'll notice here is at the bottom left, I have Junkar. And I'm just going to use them to hold these guys down. Just hold them down there because I want Kameth to have accessibility to these waves that are coming on the top left of the battle. Now, here's the two things that are playing for Junkar right now is that I gave him the artifact that allows him to recover health with each bit of damage that he does. Okay, so that's where you see the green numbers every time that he uses it. And then the other one, the other reason that I decided to deploy this strategy is because if Esren notices that he is getting low in health, he'll heal him. So you see how Esren just said, no, you're not gonna die. So that gives my Kameth now time to take down those these waves down, up here on the top left. And when you see the big destructors come, that's where we really need Kameth to be at his best. So down here I'm preparing for the destructors that are coming over here from the top right. So I'm going to use I here in this tile right here that you see. And she's essentially going to put the icicles because I just want her to slow things down as much as I can. And here's the other thing that I also wanted her to do. I wanted her to put crystals right here. Ice crystals right here before this core.
Long shall it last, even the gods.
I forbid your death.
All shall become.
Where are the
And then again, I'm using Nabras up here. So we can do some damage, especially to anything that might be coming down the pipe.
The Storm King strikes hard.
The mother tree is life. The mother tree is
right, so I'm placing Laurel right behind Comet. She'll give him the boost and damage that we're gonna need to make sure that we clear all this down. So we're gonna activate the ultimate here. So while Comet's taking care of the left hand side, you can see that I and Raiden and Nabras are taking care of all this the destructors and those little the little minions that bring down our ultimate charge. Okay, so then now that most of the damage has been done here on this side, I've decided to bring back Laurel, and now I can deploy Selkath up here to help with damage. So nothing has been getting through Ardeth yet, which is good. And I do have the Oleg Walls artifact on him. That's why he's being able to hold things up very well for us. But then the other reason too is because of I putting those icicles down, crystal bombs when we need them. Okay, so now at this part of the battle, I'm just waiting for Comet to be able to recharge back, because I want to orient him to point down. So on this side here, I pretty much have it all. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was able to deploy all those crystal bombs on her. So now, ideally, what I should have done is waited for Comet's ultimate to be charged, so I could activate it there. But his basic attack did enough damage for me to bring down the health of these minions here. So and the reason that I decided to let Junkard release them is because I knew that he was not, it was going to take too long for him to take him down. So I just decided to release him. And there were two reasons for that, because I had Comet here to do some damage, and then if I knew that they were going to slip by, I have Nabras here. But at the same time, I knew that these crystal bombs that I laid down very early on were going to do the damage necessary to bring these guys down. So it might have taken a little longer, but it did, those crystal bombs there did the job that I needed them to do, to clear the stage. And of course, make sure that you meet the primary condition to clear the stage, which is to keep all heroes alive. You can see Comet was the one that did primarily most of the damage. I contributed along with Raiden, and then everybody else was there just to kind of assist the battle and get us get things finished for us. So now let me go ahead and show you the builds. All right, quickly with the builds, here is Raiden, and I have him in one of the stick sets that I have. So he's about 13,000 attack, 70% crit rate, 274 crit damage, some rage regen, not really a whole lot of speed, maybe a little bit more speed would help. And you can see that I have the unfortunate skull on him. Esren, he's in the syphilis set. And you can see that he had a high level of attack and some rage regeneration. So he's an attack-based healer. And he has TS Bomb as the artifact. Comet has the Tear of Starlight artifact on him with the Fracture set. So 15,000 attack, about 279 critical damage. My goal here was just to use sets that I think are really accessible to people. If you have your Ageless and your Warlords, Infernos, use them. I just wanted to keep this example really simple, something that some people could shoot for. You see him, Nabras, 13,251 speed, 261.5 critical damage. Just to get us some damage here. Eye, again, in the stick set. Eye is primarily built for guild wards, and her sole purpose is just to slow things down, but she also can do some damage with those crystal bombs, so I put some critical damage on her. Again, Laurel is just there for the boost, but I decided to give her some gear, so 290% critical damage. Giving her low base of attack is really hard to load up the attack on her. As for Ardeth, I decided to put him in the Glacier set so we could get some attack, so he could do some damage, but at the same time load up his HP and defense. Attack speed is for about 285. And like I said, the artifact that he has is Oleg's Wall. Selkath is the only one that is at 50. He did have a curse set, so he was I did try to load him up a little bit, even though he was at 50. And I think that's pretty much it for the builds. For the artifacts that I tried to use on most of the mages here, it was the title ring. It's because if I could slow things down, especially on the right hand side, perfect. Nobras got the what used to be Agisic's revenge artifact. And you can see Junkar here now. Hey, he has the Luna's Advisor, and that's the one that gives him an extra block and also gives him HP every time he does some damage. So that's why that strategy worked on having him placed on the left bottom of the map. And as you saw, Esren really came out to be the MVP because he was able to keep Junkar alive, and that's what we need in this map, is keep everybody alive. So I hope that my strategy kind of helps you solve how you could possibly do it with the roster that you have. And again, if you want to use Elowen or any other of the lords that are in this faction, go ahead and use them. It'll speed things up for you. As you can see, I do not have Venoma or the other lord of this faction, so I had to go with the roster that I did. But as you can see, it is very doable with the epics that the game has given us for this particular faction. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and watching. If you did appreciate the content that this video provided you, please hit like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time in the next Watcher of Realms video.
Their souls are mine to take.